Judge Amy Coney Barrett accidentally FINED Elon Musk. His shocking move left America speechless. Washington, D.C. April 2025. In a twist that stunned the legal world, rattled Silicon Valley, and left America gasping for breath, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett found herself at the center of a jaw-dropping clerical blunder that mistakenly slapped tech billionaire Elon Musk with a federal fine exceeding $5 million. And Musk's explosive response? It sent shockwaves across every major news network. The accidental fine heard around the nation. According to leaked documents obtained by insiders close to the Supreme Court's administrative wing, the incident began when the court issued a decision tied to a case involving environmental compliance penalties for large corporations. Musk's name, it appears, was erroneously inserted into the final ruling due to what one clerk described as a copy-paste error in a late-night draft. Though Barrett did not personally author the clerical mishap, the signature page bearing her name made the fine legally binding, at least temporarily. Within minutes of the ruling going public, Elon Musk's legal team sprang into DEFCON1 mode. Elon's shocking response, "I'll pay it, but not how you think." Rather than immediately contesting the fine, Musk took to X, formerly Twitter, in a now viral post that simply read, "If the government wants $5 million, I'll give it to them. But I'm choosing the currency." Hours later, he posted a video from the roof of SpaceX headquarters in Texas. In it, he stood beside a rocket loaded with gold-plated Dogecoin replicas and said, "Let's see if the Supreme Court accepts crypto." In orbit. Then came the real shocker. Musk actually launched the faux payment into space. America reacts from applause to outrage. Cable news couldn't get enough. The story took over every network. On CNN, legal analyst Andre Fulbright called it the most bizarre judicial misunderstanding in modern history. Fox News dubbed it a stunt that defies gravity, literally. Social media exploded. Amy Coney Barrett fined Elon Musk by mistake, and he sent the money into space. Is this real life? Meanwhile, constitutional scholars argued over whether the fine had any legal standing, and calls grew louder for a formal inquiry into the court's administrative procedures. Barrett responds a statement of grace or damage control. Days later, in a rare public statement, Justice Barrett addressed the incident. "The integrity of our rulings must be beyond question. Though I did not personally issue the fine, I regret any confusion that resulted from our court's documentation process." But for many, the apology came too late. Questions now swirl around whether Barrett's office was negligent or worse, whether the error exposed deeper vulnerabilities in the Supreme Court's checks and balances. What's next? Congressional Republicans are already calling for an investigation into how the Supreme Court handles its decisions, while Musk's move has reignited debates about whether billionaires are playing by a different set of rules or writing their own. In true Musk fashion, he closed the week with another cryptic tweet: "You fine me by accident, I launch it by design." America is watching and waiting. Because when Supreme Court blunders collide with space-age billionaires, one thing is certain: the laws of gravity no longer apply. Behind the marble curtain, Barrett's chambers in crisis. Inside the austere and normally silent halls of the Supreme Court, what began as a clerical hiccup had escalated into full-blown judicial mayhem. Sources inside the court, speaking under anonymity, revealed that once news of the Musk fine broke, Justice Barrett's chambers descended into controlled chaos. "It was like a five-alarm fire," said one longtime clerk. Emails were flying. Phones didn't stop ringing. Everyone was asking the same question: how did Elon Musk's name get in the decision file? Initial reports suggest that a junior clerk working on parallel corporate liability cases accidentally inserted Musk's name from a draft memo into the wrong section of the final ruling. But the court's antiquated internal review system designed for secrecy, not speed, failed to catch it. By the time the error was discovered, it was too late. Barrett was furious, said another source, but also terrified. This wasn't just a mistake. This could damage the public's trust in the entire judicial branch. Internal fallout. Who's taking the fall? Whispers of a sacrificial resignation are already circulating. The court, notorious for keeping internal discipline out of public view, is allegedly preparing to quietly remove the clerk responsible and overhaul its document vetting system. But some insiders argue the real blame lies higher up. This wasn't one rogue assistant, said a former federal judge. This was systemic sloppiness, emboldened by a culture of untouchability. Meanwhile, critics across the political spectrum are sharpening their knives. Progressives are demanding a full review of Supreme Court procedures, questioning how many other rulings may have suffered from similar oversights. Conservatives, normally Barrett's staunch defenders, are quietly bristling, fearing the scandal could be used to justify Supreme Court reform or even term limits. Elon Musk's secret Plan B, Operation Lex Lightning. But as the legal elite scrambled, Elon Musk was already 3 moves ahead. According to insiders at SpaceX and Tesla, Musk activated a top-secret initiative dubbed Operation Lex Lightning, a project designed not just to respond to the fine, but to publicly undermine the legitimacy of the ruling in real time. Here's what we know. He commissioned AI-generated legal war rooms streamed live on X, where legal experts and holograms of historical figures like Hamilton and Tesla debated the court's mistake 24/7. He greenlit a full-page ad in the New York Times and Wall Street Journal reading, "If our Supreme Court can't tell the difference between a tech mogul and an environmental polluter, should it still be supreme?" And most outrageously, Musk reportedly offered a $1 million prize for anyone who could hack a mock simulation of the court's internal workflow, exposing how easy it is to make a billion-dollar typee. Barrett vs. Musk, a legal showdown looms? Legal experts now speculate whether Musk, despite the fine being rescinded, may take Barrett and the Supreme Court to federal court over reputational damage and misuse of authority. While it's extremely rare for a citizen to sue a sitting Supreme Court justice, Musk's team has already filed a notice of intent with the D.C. District Court, possibly setting the stage for a first-of-its-kind legal battle between a private citizen and the highest court in the land. "This isn't about the money anymore," said Musk's lawyer in a statement. "It's about sending a message. Even the untouchables are not above accountability." The final act. A nation holds its breath. As the weeks went by, the Musk-Barrett saga became more than just a headline. It became a national symbol of the dangerous intersection between power, technology, and the law. And the media. The narrative had shifted. Musk, once seen as the world's most unpredictable billionaire, now seemed to be engaged in a quiet war against an institution that had, until then, seemed untouchable. The Supreme Court, traditionally above reproach, now faced a crisis of confidence. Despite the apology issued by Justice Barrett and the subsequent reversal of the fine, America couldn't shake the feeling that something larger was at play, something unstoppable. The fall of the untouchables. On April 30, 2025, the court's internal investigation was made public. The findings were staggering. A critical breakdown in judicial protocol had led to multiple errors in high-profile rulings, not just in the Musk case, but in others dating back years. The clerk responsible for the mistake was quietly disbarred, but for many, it was clear the judicial system needed reform. Rumors swirled that Barrett, feeling the weight of the controversy, had quietly considered retirement, but no formal announcement had been made. Musk's moment of triumph. As for Musk, he didn't wait for the dust to settle. By early May, Musk had already shifted the narrative entirely. The fine was long forgotten, and his latest project, A billion-dollar digital platform aimed at shaking up the legal industry, was rapidly gaining steam. Musk had positioned himself as not just a tech innovator, but as a symbol of disruption, someone willing to confront even the highest powers of the land. In his own words, the world's most powerful institutions must evolve, or they will collapse. If we can send rockets to Mars, we should be able to send justice to the people. But there was more than just words. His next move, a series of public meetings with world leaders and tech moguls, seemed to suggest that Musk was laying the groundwork for something even bigger. Was he positioning himself for a run at political office? A presidential bid in 2028? America was divided, but one thing was certain: the balance of power had shifted, and this saga was far from over. Barrett's legacy, a silent shift. Justice Barrett, once a rising star in conservative circles, now found herself caught in the crossfire of an unprecedented public reckoning. Though she did not face any formal legal consequences, the ripple effects of the accidental fine had forever altered the way the nation viewed her, perhaps even the entire Supreme Court. In private, some of her colleagues were already hinting at a quiet shift in judicial culture, one that would take years, if not decades, to fully materialize. The notion of the Supreme Court as an untouchable institution had been cracked. In the end, it wasn't just a fine. It was a reckoning.